Hey there, guys. John Hunter coming back to you this week with the topic of VA and home inspections. This is all about exposing the myth of VA home inspections and what you need to know about it. So let's get right into it here. So, what is this myth, right? So, I get this question all the time about VA home inspections and the fact that VA assigns a home inspector, and if the inspection doesn't go well, that the transaction will fall through because the VA home inspector will deny the home. It won't meet the standards. Like somehow the VA standards are way higher than any other home. So that's really not the case. So let's talk about what the difference is. So VA does not require a home inspection. They don't require that you have one. Now, what's really being misunderstood here is there's a difference between an appraiser and a home inspector. Now, an appraiser's job is to determine value. And in so doing, if there are any major issues, health and safety issues, or deferred maintenance issues that will affect value, the VA appraiser will bring those up. But really, their main job is all about value, not structural integrity, right? They're not going to tell you if there was a previous leak and it was super obvious, or if there's been past issues with the house. They're not going to tell you any of that. It's all about the value. Now, a home inspection is a different deal. Now, VA doesn't have home inspectors, and they don't even require that you get one done. They highly recommend you get one done, but it has nothing to do with the mortgage transaction whatsoever, and it's all just for your own knowledge. Now, those guys are going to tell you what's wrong with the house. That's their job, is the structural integrity of the house. So there's a huge difference between an appraiser and a home inspector, and let's not confuse the two. But that doesn't mean that the appraiser can't mention things that are wrong with the house, because they often do. But it's only when they're major issues, things that you would really want to know about that are going to affect the health and safety. And see, VA's philosophy on this, the reason why they want some of those issues to be brought up, where sometimes maybe conventional might ignore some of them. Most of the time they don't, though. But let's say that they would, for example. The reason being is if you're getting in the home for zero down and you don't have a lot of money left over, they just want to make sure that there's nothing you have to spend money on right away on the home, that if you couldn't spend the money, maybe the home would become unlivable, and now you owe all this money on this house you can't even live in because you can't afford to fix it up. So they just don't want to knowingly let you get into that position. So that is the main reason why they have an appraisal, and the appraiser is going to pay attention, but not really call out too much, right? Like I said, only the super obvious stuff. And by the way, that's not unique to VA. FHA does it. They can actually be a little stricter. Conventional does it. They all care about health and safety issues and deferred maintenance. VA is not alone in that, but it's definitely not a home inspection. It is definitely not a pass-fail type of situation. And there's nothing that is unique to VA that makes it harder to get the loan. So now there are a couple things that are unique to VA. For example, like when you buy a home using your VA financing, your eligibility, they are going to require you get a pest inspection or a termite inspection. Now, that goes for the vast majority of the United States. That is a requirement on every purchase transaction. There are some exceptions to that, though. Say, for example, up here in the Northwest, we don't require it here in the Northwest because we really don't have termite issues. But that doesn't mean that from time to time, if there aren't signs of, say, wood destroying insects, that they won't ask for it. But it's not a given up here in the Northwest necessarily. But that changes from sometimes county to county or state to state. So if you are wondering about your state, if your county, and what the requirements are for you, drop me a comment or shoot me a message, and I'll give you what your specific area, county, city, or state requirements are for VA. So I'd be happy to help you with that if you have any questions on that or any of this stuff, really. So now, then one other exception on VA appraisals where they're going to call out something that maybe you wouldn't get called out on another type of loan program is on manufactured homes. VA has a specific requirement for the type of foundation that they allow. So there is a a structural inspection, or a professional engineer has to do a foundation cert on that. But see, FHA requires that too, but it's very similar, just slightly different requirements. But those are the two things, really. The pest and the foundation inspection is the only thing that I would find is even remotely unique to VA appraisals. And even that's not that terribly unique. So hopefully this helps with that myth. It is truly one of the reasons why a lot of sellers won't even look at VA loans, is because they misunderstand this and they think that there's some sort of a higher standard here that the VA financing would require than other types of financing. And it's simply not the case. So it is a myth, and hopefully we just busted it. So, hey guys, John Hunter, I'm coming back to you with VA content every week, it seems, if not several times a month. Every week, at least 2 new videos with content and a weekly rate update to keep you on your thumb on the pulse of the real estate market here going into 24, which should be a really interesting year. So, hey guys, please like, subscribe, follow if you like the content and you want more of it. I will be coming back to you, and have a wonderful week. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.